Brought to you by DMRhosting.com. Unlimited data storage, unlimited data transfer, antivirus, and spam protection, along with 24/7, 365 support via chat or phone. Get started today with a 30-day free trial at DMRhosting.com. Well, it's Friday, folks, and you know what that means. It means we get to talk to some very special guests who have a movie premiering this today, actually. It's called The Loneliest Boy in the World, and we have with us some very special guests. The director, Martin Owen, and one of the stars of the film, Hero Fiennes.
How's it going? Thanks for having us.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure to have you here. So, let me just get right into it real quick and get into some of the questions. For Martin, did you find the script or did the script find you?
That's a good question. The script found me. Piers Ashworth, who was one of the writers, I think Piers was the main writer. He also conceived the project with Emilio Estevez, Brad Wyman. Piers brought the script to us, and we'd worked with Piers on something else. And he said, "Oh, you might like this. Like, it's not everyone's taste." And I read it, and I just absolutely fell in love with it straight away.
That's awesome. Now, I know you're a writer yourself. Did you make any changes to the script that was given to you?
No, not to the script, but there's a few ad-lib lines, actually, predominantly from Hero, actually, that worked out pretty good. But now, kind of the script was kept intact. We made a few changes, but on the whole, it was a bunch of ad-libbing from mainly from Hero. But otherwise, we kind of tried to keep as true to the material as possible.
Now, Hero, this seems to be just a little bit different than the character that you played in The Woman King.
Yeah.
So was the transition from one project to the other hard?
Do you know what? I think it's kind of like what motivates me most at this point in my career is like making sure I diversify my portfolio and kind of at the young age, at this early point in my career, while I'm lucky enough to have the opportunities, make sure I pick the right choices. And for me, a big part of that is doing something really different from the last. I want every project to be really different from the last so that I can figure out what I'm good at and what I'm bad at, so I know never to do it again. And I think this was, I'm so grateful that I've had After and The Woman King and this all kind of come out in the same month because the characters are really different. And I think that's kind of what attracted me most to this project, was how much fun I'd have playing a dead guy with nothing to lose. And obviously he's got a lot of great lines in there as well. So I was always excited to bring this role to life, if you'll pardon the pun. I've used that so many times, guys, don't laugh.
Yeah, you can tell he has.
Well, now, again, your character is Mitch. Is this your first zombie role?
It is, yeah, it is. Hopefully not my last, because I actually really, really enjoyed it. It was actually, I learned how difficult it is to kind of play dead convincingly. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially when they're long scenes. But no, Shaun of the Dead was one of my favorite movies growing up. So it's quite nice to do another zombie comedy. Yeah, I'd love to do it again.
Now, let me get back over here to Martin real quick. Knowing that you directed several films that you've written yourself, mm-hmm. Is your approach a little bit different when you write the script and when somebody gives you the script?
I think the approach is the same. It's just the difference for this, I think, for me, was the pressure of because the guys had written the film so many years ago, like in the 80s. It was this kind of weird additional pressure of wanting to do something that meant so much to the guys justice, and there's that additional pressure of like, oh my God, we don't make it, and I just hate it. Like last night we had a screening and Brad was there and watched it, and I was like super nervous knowing he was there. I didn't mind like anyone else watching it, but it's the thought that I like messed someone else's work up. It's fine if I mess mine up, but someone else's, it's an additional pressure, I think.
And it was well received last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, what seemed to play very well. It's for me, it's been a real joy to see how much the kind of genre crowds are really enjoying it, because obviously, kind of horror comedy is a difficult one. It's a niche, nuanced kind of subgenre of film, and I think that I'm just really pleased it seems to be playing well with that audience.
Now you did L.A. Slasher, Max Cloud, and now The Loneliest Boy. They couldn't be any more different than they are. But your unique vision and color palette shines through in all of these. Is color part of your storytelling arsenal?
Yeah, I just like the color pink. That's all. I don't know what I mean. I just like the color pink a lot. I like it more than I conceivably should. But yeah, I just like pink, and it's weird because when I started, I used these really kind of hard neon pinks, and now kind of working with these pastels, which I actually prefer. They look a lot nicer cinematically, I think. But yeah, I just like the color pink. There's no deep reason or anything like that. I just like the color pink.
This film is about love, letting go of the past, but not forgetting and growing into your next phase of life. Is this really a family film, a horror film, or both?
I think it's at the heart of it. It's two parts to this answer. One, it's dressing, if you like the environment we've created is probably that of a horror film, but ultimately at the core of it, it's a relatable human story that could be and can be watched by families, because it's a story about a young man dealing with grief, and that's something that everybody goes through at some point in their life. And I think that, from my perspective, it's a cross-genre 80s influence film, and you don't see a lot of cross-genre films these days because they're hard to make and they're hard to finance.
So just to tag on the end of that, I feel like it's so interesting how different this film could have been if we wanted to make it. If we stripped all the comedy out of it, you'd still have such a deep, film with so much to explore and so much kind of sensitive issues to do with, as you say, grief, trauma, and it's so nice to touch on those things while still having such a kind of lighthearted comedic tone through it. And I think it's difficult to get that balance. I actually think Martin's done a great job of collaborating those genres, because it's not easy to do.
Mm-hmm. And Mitch is such a wonderful character, I believe, because before his accident and after the accident, he seems to go through his own spiritual growth, taking on the role of Big Brother. Yeah.
I feel like he was always a bit like that, as he was kind of like when he was alive, I guess. And then now it's that he's always had a lot of friends, as we hear from his mum. He's always been a very likable guy. But I think now that he's dead, he has absolutely nothing to lose. And that makes it easier to be a better friend when you don't have your own issues to worry about. And I think it's also interesting to note that he's not like a textbook perfect friend, because, he doesn't give the best dating advice. He's just kind of lucky that it works. And, but I think that there's something so real and honest about that, because a good friend will pick you up when you fall on the floor and graze your knee, but your very best friend will laugh, point, and take a picture and won't let you forget. And I think there's something so nice about friends who you don't need to be perfect as long as you're there for someone.
Yeah, and Mitch seems to be the kind of person who, even if he doesn't have all of the answers, he's gonna say the what comes from the heart, and his confidence will carry him forward.
Yes, no, exactly. It was so fun playing, I nearly said bringing him to life again. It was actually really fun playing someone with so little to lose because he's dead. And I think I knew that off the bat, and it was so true. And Max kind of does the hard work of doing all the serious stuff while I just mess around and play dead.
I found out this week that you are very popular on the internet. And you've got some very, very loyal fans out there. And they wanted to ask you some questions. And so I picked a couple out. And if you don't mind, I'll ask them.
Wicked. No, I'm so glad you did. Thank you for doing that. And thank you to the people who sent in questions.
By Allison TV on Twitter asked, why is Mitch sunbathing if there's no sun?
Do you know what? Do you know what? So on the day it was supposed to be sunny, and he's just sunbathing because it's sunny. And because it was overcast, this kind of stuff happens all the time during films. We didn't even change the line, but the line became funny. Before it was exposition, and the fact that the weather was bad made the line funny, so it worked in a blessing to us. But I also think when you've been underground for however long, any UV ray, no matter how many clouds there are, is going to be beneficial. So he's he's in debt to himself. He's been underground for a while, so he needs to get that tan no matter how sun there is. How much?
So is it kind of like a snake or a cold-blooded creature? You're gonna have to a warm body.
Exactly. Yeah, he probably missed that. He probably missed that warmth, and he was trying to salvage whatever little sun there was that he could.
JJ Trabuco on Instagram asked, "What can we expect from you in 2023?"
Personally, I honestly don't know yet. I've got some really exciting projects that aren't like set in stone yet, so I can't talk about them. But thanks to Martin believing in my kind of comedic abilities, I think I'm gonna explore the possibility of doing some more comedic stuff. I'd love to work with Martin again. So yeah, can't talk about anything just yet, but I'm excited to get to a point where I can.
Martin?
I'm actually directing a comedy, actually. Perfect segue from Hero there. Perfect. I'm doing a comedy which starts shooting end of January. I can't say too much about it because it hasn't sort of been press released yet. But yeah, I've begun prepping that film, and it's an out and out comedy. So we'll really see if I am as funny as I think I am, and if I'm not, then that's it. We'll probably never speak again.
Well, I think this movie is going to be a success, and I thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to us this morning. And the film's out today, and I hope you go out and see it.
Thanks you so much,
guys.
Daniel. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Daniel.